The Norfolk Public School Board District Board of Education meeting is called to order. Roll call.
Terry Bauer.
Here.
Cindy Booth.
Here.
Brenda Carhart.
Present.
Dr. Patty Goebbels.
Here.
Steve McNally.
Present.
Tom Stanton.
Here.
All members are present. We do have a quorum.
This is a legal meeting of the Board of Education as advertised by the means specified in board policy. A complete copy of the Open Meetings Act is posted in the boardroom for your review. A copy of the agenda is available at the desk of the recording secretary. Please stand and join us in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. Our first item tonight is the student fees hearing. Mr. Wilson.
Thank you, Madam President. At this time, I would like to open the hearing to discuss, consider, and receive input on the student fee policy. Attached for your review are the following: our student fee receipts and expenditures for 24-25 through April, current fees for the 24-25 school year, proposed fees for the 25-26 school year, with changes struck through to remove or in red as additions. And then also our student fee policy, policy number 5416. So at this time, if any member of the public wishes to comment or give opinions on the student fee policy and proposed fees for the 25-26 school year, I ask that you come forward to the microphone and state your name. Reminder that this is only for the student fee hearing topic, and there will be time later in the agenda for open public comment. Okay, at this point, I will close the public hearing for the student fees. Points of note here that the district did collect $61,593.70 through April in board-approved student fees in the areas of instruction and activities during the 24-25 school year. These fee dollars can only be expended for the items for which they are collected. The district had $50,870.81 in board-approved disbursements for the 24-25 school year, which left the fund with a cash balance of $530,497.72 as of April 30th, 2024. The cash balance is primarily composed of those fees which are not necessarily expended on an annual basis, such as for technology and summer school fees. The district reviews all items on the proposed fee list annually and only lists those fees which we believe are necessary to help offset the total cost to the district. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson. Next presentation, special recognition, focus on the students. 5.1, focus on the students. We'll have the elementary leadership team from Lincoln Montessori Elementary. Angie Hausman.
All right. Hi, I'm Angie Hausman, and we're actually here as a whole district elementary. So today I am not the principal of Lincoln Montessori. However, I am part of the Strategic Action Committee for Communications, as well as the district representative for our elementary school counselors. Let's keep it coming down. All right, so out of our communications plan, we decided we wanted to have teams at each school that would represent the school and communicate wants, needs, and bend the ear of Dr. Thompson, pretty much is what we wanted to do. And so we created teams in each of our buildings. The plan was to do that by fall of 2025, and we actually were a year ahead on that. And so we all created teams in our buildings, and the school counselors lead the teams in different activities, leadership activities. Well, those of us that have been here a while remember way back when we even had 5th and 6th graders at the elementary level. They would get to go to Wayne State College for the day and spend the day as a leadership group and work on leadership activities and responsibilities. And so we kind of decided we wanted to duplicate that. Wayne State said they no longer do it and was no longer interested. And so I was thinking, who in our community has so many connections and knows everything about Norfolk as a community? And of course, Angie Stanger came to mind. So one called to Angie Stanger and she said, of course I will help you. I don't even think she listened to what I was asking because it was really huge. But anyway, so Angie Stanger and I have been the privilege of designing a leadership day. This is just a small representation from many of our schools of the students who got to attend the day. We had 52 students attend the day. We were at the library, and we made a video to show you. And then these guys are here to answer any questions, and Alex will tell you a little more.
Good evening, members of the board, staff, families, and community members. Tonight, I am excited to introduce a short video that highlights a special event recently held for some of our fourth grade students, our young leaders in the making. This Leadership Day gave these students a unique opportunity to step into the shoes of real-world leaders. They met with our city's mayor, our very own superintendent, Dr. Jamie Jo Thompson, and connected with fellow student leaders from schools across the district. They also had the chance to choose from a variety of leadership building activities designed to inspire confidence, teamwork, and vision. This video offers a glimpse into a day filled with learning, laughter, and leadership, and most importantly, a day that showed just how bright our future really is.
I enjoyed listening to Angie Stinger talk about the Growing Norfolk project.
What are some of the things that you enjoyed about the Leadership Day?
I really liked playing the Kahoot with all the schools.
I liked meeting the superintendent and the mayor.
What did you like about the Kahoot?
I liked it because there was a lot more kids than there usually are. Because we normally only have 18 and there was like a lot there.
What did you like about meeting the superintendent and the mayor?
We got to take pictures of them and ask them questions.
The one thing I learned from our guest speakers is to listen more than we talk.
Hi, my name is Rager and I go to Jefferson Elementary School. And one thing I liked about Leadership Day was when we got to meet the mayor and superintendent. And one thing I learned about leadership is that you have to be a good communicator and a good listener.
Leadership Day.
Probably like hanging out with other kids. I would say meeting the other kids and getting to see the tour of the library and all the books and things that they had in the library.
Anything else that you really enjoyed that you want to share?
Probably like getting to know everybody and having a fun time. And we got to do activities and meeting the mayor and the superintendent.
What are some of the things that you really enjoyed about the
Hi, my name is Ben from Jefferson Elementary, and one thing I like from Leadership Day is meeting new other student leaders, and one thing I learned is speaking loud and proud.
Our favorite part of Lead the Way Day was the stations. I loved Lead the Way Day because of the variety of choices on what we got to do.
Thank you for being so attentive. This is the first time you guys got to see that video. Did you find yourself? Yeah, awesome. Do you guys have any questions for them?
I don't know.
How many, oh, sorry, go ahead. So many kids total then were at Leadership Day, if you had, how many from each school?
We had 52, and it varied the number from each school. Up to 10 from each school were, we had the capacity for up to 10 from each school, so 70.
And how did those 10 get chosen from each?
So each school is a little different on the leadership teams. I can tell you at my school, at Lincoln Montessori, we do teacher nominations. And so we did 10 first semester and 8 first semester and 8 second semester for a total of 16. Do you guys know how your school, any other schools designate?
The way how Grant chose their leadership team is that each fourth grade teacher chose some kids out of their classroom to who showed the most leadership, and then there were also some fourth graders.
But the day was specific for fourth grade.
So the fourth graders will get to go next year.
Oh, perfect. Do you want to hand it over?
At Washington Elementary, the guidance counselor sees who is doing the best and setting a good example for other kids, and then choosing those few kids.
Must be learning leadership because you're speaking quite well, kids. Great job. Very impressive. And on the video to be able to speak so clearly and express your thoughts, I was impressed.
So I saw that one of the activities you guys got to do was to create your own business. What were some of the businesses you guys started?
I created a bakery.
I created a hairstylist.
I created an office.
I created a juice stop.
Of the breakout activities, what was your favorite?
Just how does breakout?
I think she made any of the stations.
My favorite station was doing a note for the veterans in the veterans home and putting flower seeds on the back for them.
That was a service project we also incorporated.
My favorite station was creating the buttons. My favorite station was creating a business. My favorite station was the Lego challenge. My favorite was making the buttons. My favorite was the graphic novel.
My favorite station was the button making.
My favorite station was the Star Wars themed breakout box.
My favorite station was the Star Wars themed breakout box.
I'm pointing to Mickey Mueller back there. She helped with that. Thank you, Mickey. Did you want to say something, Ange? Did you say?
I said I would love it if we're okay. One of the things that I heard a few years ago was the comment from someone down in Hebron who said when he was growing up, he is now an adult living in the community, but he said when he was growing up, he cannot remember an adult ever inviting them back to their town to come back and live. So that's one of the things that we talked about, was that we would love them to stay in Norfolk, that we would love them to come back, but we know the invitation needs to be there, that if they go away to college or they start their business, always know that we want them and need them here in our community. And they were a great day. I have to give many, many accolades to all the educators, because I was as tired as I have ever been at the end of one day. Anybody else?
Thank you. Second is Award for Excellence. Angie Bauman.
Thank you, Madam President. So, as many of you know that attend our board meetings, I get to have the honor of every other month, 5 times out of the school year, I get to present the Award for Excellence for one staff member in our district. So only 5 times a year. So this is a pretty special award to be able to give. I would like to invite up Sochi Naranjo, who will be receiving the award at this time. So Sochi's nominations are valid for 1 calendar year. So her nomination started during last school year when she was an ELL teacher at Washington Elementary, and carried over into this year where she is a title teacher at Jefferson and Woodland Park Elementary. So she had nominations from multiple schools and multiple roles. I will read some of the nomination comments, but there's 3 pages of them, so I'll send a copy with her to be able to read all of them. But some of the staff members said her collaborative spirit, reliability, and genuine care for others makes her not only an exceptional team member, but also a deeply respected and appreciated presence in our school community. She has a special way of implementing her teaching resources and knowledge to accommodate each child's needs. She builds relationships that are long-lasting. Sochi is one of a kind. She is so compassionate with her teaching. She wants her students to be successful, and she tries very hard and uses such creative techniques to help her students succeed. And then I did include one nomination comment from a student of hers that said, when I was in 2nd grade, I didn't know English, but when I went for the first time to her class, I learned fast, and thanks for helping me learn English. Today, I know more than I think I know. I help other people like you helped me learn to read words that I didn't know how to talk and speak. I like that when I help someone, it reminds me of when you taught me and my friends. Okay, so with this award, she receives a plaque. I told her students she would bring it back and show it to them. She receives a $50 gift card that Hy-Vee donates for her for personal use, whatever she would like. And then she gets $500 to use in her building. She has 2 buildings this year, so we'll see what she decides to do there in a way that will benefit our students. We have an administrator here. Mr. Strong, do you want to say anything? I don't think I prepped you for that, so now you have to. You have to use the mic for those at home, sorry.
I didn't come prepared to speak, but I will say this. I heard many, many good things about Sochi when she was at Washington, so I was very excited when she came to Woodland Park, and everything I heard was absolutely true. She's amazing. I don't know if I've told her this before, but I call her a bulldog or a pit bull, right? Because she does not accept failure. She just won't accept it. If there's any student who's not learning, she is going to figure out why they're not learning, and she's going to fix it. That's amazing. I gotta say, that's very unique. I haven't had too many teachers that are that determined as she is, so amazing.
Would you like the mic?
First of all, thank you, Mr. Strong. I would like to say I'm a cat person, but thank you. I did read the comments ahead of time on the agenda, and I want to just point out some of the people who nominated me because I was very humbled, I still am, by all the comments that they wrote about me. I could write more than 3 pages on each and every one of them, and so Mindy Lyon, stand up, and Maureen Johnson, they were my paras at Washington, and I always say they were teachers, they still are, with para pay. They're amazing. Nothing would have done in the ELL program without them, and so I always want to be thankful for them, and I still consider them close friends. Stephanie Allman, she was a 2nd grade teacher I worked with at Washington, and she always encourages me to take care of myself both in and outside of school, so I'm thankful for that. And then Melissa Warner and Katie Fight, uber organized school leaders who kept everything rolling. And then back behind her, Bridget Turek, the amazing Bridget Turek, who I share a room with at Jefferson this year, and she is amazing, and I am learning so much from her. And then one of the ELL team members came, and that is Stephanie McBride. And I got to work in ELL for almost 17 years. And ELL is its own world. Angie used to teach it. And so I'm very thankful that I got to work with a strong ELL team. I would say it's one of the tightest teams that I've ever worked with. You know Mary. And now I get to work with the title team and with Nancy Probosco. And so I feel very fortunate to know a lot of educators across the district. And if you know excellence, you've seen it in every single building. And I will just say that I am a strong, strong believer in open communication and trust and collaboration. I think that's where the work gets done. Honesty in both constructive criticism and in positive feedback, and you can't have that with trust and collaboration. And so I'm very, very thankful that I've been able to have that in every job I have, and even with the big boss, Mary Lur, who I had for almost, I don't know how many years in ELL, and now with the big boss, Jared Oswald. So I'm just very thankful for all of that, and I'm thankful to my family because I spent a lot of time at school when I was teaching ELL. And so I'm just very thankful for them. And my mom, who was the ELL teacher at Washington for 18 years? She started the program in the district. So 4th generation teacher, and I think it stops with me. I think I scared my kids away from teaching. So thank you very much to all of you.
Congratulations. Here's a clean copy for you. You're very welcome.
Thank you, and congratulations, Suchi. Next is special presentation from ALLO. Dr. Thompson.
Thank you. It is my pleasure to introduce Dave Miller, Regional General Manager, Kelly Starkle, Business Sales Executive, and Kate Langren, Creative Marketing Specialist, all with Allo Communications. They have some exciting news to share with you. And don't be alarmed, we always let people leave at this time during the presentation. It has nothing to do with you, I promise. They're just programmed to leave after the Award for Excellence.
And I was going to say it's always hard to follow young people. That is a tough act to follow, so completely understand. My name's Dave Miller. I am the general manager for Allo. It's our honor to be here tonight. You all have a lot to celebrate. This has been fun and exciting thus far to be part of this and hear and see what's going on, which in a way makes our presentation for us that much more meaningful and impactful. Deb Dreher is also with us. Most of you know Deb. She's our first impression specialist. She's the face of Allo here in Norfolk. And we have been here since 2020. We lovingly call Norfolk our COVID city because we started building our fiber infrastructure during the pandemic. But here's the good news. As challenging as that was, you all and the city staff and the teams that our teams worked with made it such a great experience. So much so that Allo has received such a warm reception in the community with a number of people that have actually signed up and are using not just our internet at home, but internet and services for their businesses. We actually did an internal celebration here some time ago celebrating that, and I won't get into the specifics, but so Norfolk has a special place in Allo's heart. We're a Nebraska-based company. We started in Imperial, and I'm just glad to be able to be here. I came up from Lincoln because I wanted to be here to present what we've got to present. So we have a program called Allo for Education. And during the months of November and December, what we did in every Allo community is we said for every new person that signs up for our service, we will donate $50 to the school of your choice. We did this in every Allo community. We have over 50 communities across Nebraska, Colorado, and Arizona. And in total, we were able to give away $193,000. This is my 14th public presentation to be able to present checks. So we've got a nice check for you all here this evening. Now, before I actually go and get the big check and do the big reveal, there's no stipulation as to how it can be used, so it's completely up to the board and how you'd like to use that. But for us, it ties into one of our core values, and that is to be local. We believe that it's, we are a for-profit business, let's face it, but it's not always about profit, it's about purpose. And one of the reasons that I joined Allo 7 years ago is because I recognize this is a company that gives back to every community, and that was important for my career. So we're so happy to be able to be part of this. We have a big check presentation that we would like to make tonight. $3,800 is what the community of Norfolk said they wanted to give back. And here's why that's important. It's because we didn't put any stipulation on where our brand new customers through November and December, where the money went. We said, you pick the school. And they chose Norfolk Public Schools, which showed us you all are making a difference. The community recognizes it. The community wants to support education. They want to support teachers. They want to support growth, innovation, and support the kids. So we are just super excited to be able to present this to you all this evening. There you go.
Thank you.
And we already took pictures. So.
Allo, thank you for giving back to the community, and thank you for Norfolk Public Schools. We appreciate the funds. You're free to leave too now if you want to. It's fine, we're used to it. Okay, 5.4, Strategic Action Planning Presentation, Communication Goal, Mary Lure.
Thank you, Madam President. Tiffany Settles, our communications director, and Mickey Mueller, who are both on the strategic action plan with me, will be presenting how far we've come in our goal.
Go ahead, Chuck. Okay, this first slide is our team members that have all made up the communications strategic action plan. So you can see there a good representation of administrators, parents, students, staff, kind of a wide variety of people through the district. Okay, go ahead. Our first objective is to engage stakeholders by actively promoting our district endeavors and accomplishments to the alumni, community, staff, students, and their families. So we're going to walk through a few steps. Mickey's going to start.
Go ahead, Chuck. So step one, we, as Angie Hausman mentioned earlier tonight, we wanted to develop student leadership teams in each building and throughout the district. And step two of this goal was to increase diversity and participation of student voice through open forum building meetings. And so on this slide, you can see some of the comments or some suggestions that Washington Elementary students had for Mr. Specht when he met with his students. So, I mean, we have everything from adding strawberry milk, great suggestion, to being kind and polite to teachers. So hopefully Mr. Specht was able to take those comments and put them to good use. So we thank Washington students for sharing their ideas with us.
Okay. The next one, which was a big goal that has taken a while to complete, but I feel like we've got a good start on, or good finish on this. We have claimed all of the elementary school, middle school, junior high, Little Panthers Facebook pages because they were kind of all out in the digital media world. We now have them all under our NPS business page. So this is very important because should we have a changeover in administration or staff that runs that page, we don't lose that page. So that's very good. So we've also gotten everybody set up with a Instagram page. So we're just trying to expand our social media presence as well as the student content creators. So through that, we have joined with Class Intercom, which is a platform that integrates all of the social media. So they can post to Facebook, to Instagram or X, and Twitter all at one time. And you can schedule it out as far as you want. So it's been great. The hockey unit picture, we have started with a great group of junior high students that they have been creating student content. Then it gets approved by their teacher, and then it comes to Mickey and I to approve. And they had a few things at first, and we've just come a long way, and they've been doing great. So I'm also working with the senior high. That's our next step, is to get content creators at the senior high. So let's see.
Our second objective for the Communication Strategic Action Plan was to engage stakeholders by developing formal and informal educational opportunities related to district policies, operations, and communications. One thing that has happened is Dr. Thompson created student advisory groups. She has one group for staff and one group for the community. And this gives these groups an opportunity to come in and offer their feedback and suggestions, but also, especially for our community group, it allows them to learn about the policies and procedures that we have in place and the programs that we have in place throughout the district. The picture that you see is from the fourth grade Lead the Way Day that you heard about from the students this evening. Dr. Thompson and Mayor Clausen both got to meet and answer questions from our fourth grade student leaders, and it was a great day.
Our step one of this was to develop parent and family training for district-used communication tools and ensure that all families are connected. While we know that this is always a work in progress to communicate, we are continuing to work with our families through Infinite Campus. Seesaw or Dojo are commonly used at the elementary level. Principals each send out a newsletter at all of their buildings, typically at the first of the month. And then any other news items we can update through our website as well. Step 2 of this was to develop a plan for community communication of school policies and procedures. So one of those you had kind of witnessed by opening up the study sessions and having the students come out here and having that be open to the public. Just to be able to learn so many things about all the awesome things that happen in our schools. We've also taken a stronger, more consistent approach to our social media, as I talked about, just trying to really show all the positive things that have been happening. And then as far as kind of the internal staff communication, I send out a weekly newsletter that includes pictures from buildings across the district, birthdays, upcoming happenings, success pins. Dr. Thompson also sends out a first to know update to staff. So for example, that would go out tomorrow morning, kind of recapping tonight's meeting or any other important things that we feel they need to know.
And step 3 of this goal was to conduct an audit of the district website and determine if a district app is needed. We have a lot of schools in the area that have gone to a mobile app that parents have to download to be able to get everything that we do off of our district website. They get that in a mobile app form. And so Tiffany and I were really expecting that when we did a survey of both staff and of parents, and we really were expecting parents to want that mobile app. And it came back resoundingly that they did not want to download anything. And so at the same time as we were conducting the survey and waiting for those results to come back, Tiffany and I were meeting with various website vendors. The school website business has really expanded. No company just does a website. They also offer all sorts of communication tools that are built into that. And most of them offer some kind of an app, a mobile app as well. But once we got the results back from the survey, parents said they don't want to download an app, but we did hear overwhelmingly that our website was a little bit tricky to navigate. And loud and clear came through is we'd really like to see our own kids on the website. If you remember the old maroon website, we had those same students on the website probably for 10 years. So pretty sure they're in college by now. They had no connection to Norfolk. They were just stock photos. So based on the feedback that we received, we decided to stay with our current website provider, which is Idea Bank out of Hastings. They have been great partners to work with all of these years. They are very responsive to our needs, and we're really pretty happy with the website refresh. It's just lighter and brighter. Things are more organized, and the best part of all is that you get to see our own students on those on the website. So hopefully you have seen the new look website and you are enjoying seeing our students.
It's been fun going out to schools. I just took some new ones today at Jefferson, so we'll have some new faces for the summer. So we still do have a few things that we are working on. We are working to, as I mentioned, I'm going to go to senior high later this week. We're going to get some student content creators. We have a teacher that we're going to work with over there to start that in the fall, so that will be great. We're working out, we've had a few meetings. The logistics are being worked out on the alumni network and how we're going to do that. And then the next few slides are some of our favorite pictures. It was really hard to decide what student pictures to put in because I feel like we've had some really good ones lately. So we can just go through those, open it up for any questions. I also am thankful that we were on the May agenda. So I have Mickey, who's retiring, and also Mary, who's retiring. So now I get to work with Chuck. So thank you. But no, I love my job, getting to share all the wonderful things that the students are doing and work with such an excellent team has just been great. So if you guys have any questions, we're happy to answer.
I just think it's great that you put all the Facebook accounts and all the social media under one account, because that is so true. People come and go, or they have different ideas, and this way you can help control what goes out too.
Yes, that's exactly right. So
that's a
thank
very
you.
good thing.
Yes.
I think our website has gotten a little more user-friendly. I had to make a deposit in one of my kids' lunch account, and it didn't take me 10 minutes. So thank you.
Good. That's what we like to hear. Awesome. So, perfect. Anything else?
Thank you for all you do, and thank
No
you for
problem.
the communication.
Thank you, ladies, for all you did to help us get to this goal.
And Chuck, I'm sure you'll be very good too. Yeah, he's going to be great, and he'll talk next year then about this, or maybe? Okay. Okay, next line item is building visits. Does anybody want to go with their building visits? Start, Patty?
Sure, you're looking at me, so I'll go first.
Well, you're grabbing your mic, so I thought that meant.
Oh, that was the
Talk.
clue, wasn't it? I attended the morning kindergarten roundup at Woodland Park School. I sat in on Principal Strong's parent meeting and recognized that he gave very practical and thorough and necessary information for all of the parents of those incoming kindergartners next fall. You know, he talked about immunization requirements, about where to drop kids off, where to pick them up, all those really practical things that parents really want and need to know. But for me, as importantly was the tips that he gave to parents to help them prepare their children to be ready for kindergarten in the fall. Things like practice with your child, having that child follow at least 3-step directions. Read to your children. It doesn't matter if you're actually sitting down and reading every night, but we recommend 15 minutes every day. But it may just be that you hold a book up and you talk and make up a story about the book, just to help kids really become familiar with and to enjoy the process of reading. He certainly talked about how important attendance is and suggested to parents, you know, that if kids miss 10 days a year by the time they're in high school, they've missed almost a year of education. And I think that really was a poignant, important statement. After the parent meeting, I went in and observed the teachers and paraprofessionals testing the children who will be kindergartners. You know, just simple things like letter recognition, sounds of letters, being able to count at least to 10, being able to identify and count a specific number of objects. So there were some of those academic things that were tested, but they were also really testing to understand where children are behaviorally. You know, did children sit quietly and listen, or were they interrupting? Could they follow directions? Was really impressed with the organization of the process, and also noticed that children who have gone to Little Panther preschool, the preschool shared information they had about the children with those kindergarten teachers, so that they would have additional data about what those children have learned and are able to do even at preschool level. So it was very informative and helpful for me in terms of really seeing what they're doing at Kindergarten Roundup.
Well, now I should not have let you go first. Now I'm, because I was at Kindergarten Roundup at Lincoln Montessori, and you just took my thunder. So anyway, yeah, it was amazing. And I guess just to add on to that, little things that I wouldn't even notice, like I was amazed, just watch how the teachers and the paraprofessionals watched them eat. You know, did they have dexterity to open their milk carton? Did they, you know, their eating habits, and watching them use their hands and watching them cut, and just the different things that they pick up. Teachers are known to watch for skills, and they learn so much just by watching the simple things that kids did at the kindergarten level that would have went right over my head, but the teachers are very attuned to it. So lots of good looking little kids at Lincoln Montessori is what I thought.
So I got to be part of the staff appreciation event last week with a couple other school board members, and that was my first one, so it was great to see all the staff and administrators there. And one of the things that stuck with me was just kind of the genuine enthusiasm that the staff had celebrating each other, and that was really neat to see. Like, they very much get along and love each other, so it was great to see all that enthusiasm.
The staff appreciation, I thought it was a very nice program. So that was my building visit.
I have to say, I also attended staff appreciation and walked away feeling some mixed emotions, because I saw 5 teachers, 4 of them who are retiring, who were students of mine at Northeast Community College, and one is celebrating 15 years of teaching at Norfolk Public Schools. So it was kind of a mixed, it's like, can I be that old? but really being grateful for students who have now been such successful teachers.
Well, I'll go next. The fact that I'm teaching during the day kind of limits my in-building visits, so I kind of end up going to some outside activities. This month I attended 2 of the junior high track meets and found out that there are a lot of kids in junior high track, and they're very talented. I mean, they won a lot of the first and second places. And then I also attended the district music contest and want to compliment Todd Cook on just a very, very well-run district music program, and we will miss him definitely when he moves on with his career. But those are the activities that I attended.
Okay, we'll move on to public comments and communication. This is a time during the meeting when the public may request to address the board. According to state law, if you wish to comment, you must identify yourself, including your address, the name of the organization you represent, and the topic that you wish to address. Public comment cards are located at the media table in the back of the room. Please pick up a card and provide the required information if you plan to speak. Each individual's comments will be limited to 5 minutes. Please note that the board cannot discuss or act upon matters that are not listed on the agenda. Therefore, board members will not respond to your comments or questions. If you wish to request that an item be placed on a future board agenda, you may contact the superintendent or her assistant during the normal business hours. Also note that concerns related to school personnel need to be addressed to the superintendent using the approved district protocol. Individuals who make false, defamatory, or slanderous statements during public comments may be held legally liable. Slanderous comments are not protected just because they are made at board meetings. Additional procedure guidelines are available at the media table. Is there anybody that would like to speak? Okay, we'll go on to information and discussion items. Finance and facilities reports. Mr. Wilson.
Thank you, Madam President. We are currently working on the 25-26 budget that will be submitted on September 30th of 2025. A key update to note at this point is that we are working through a decrease in our TIOSA funding for next year. Due to a larger increase in valuations last year, the state views our local property tax resources as underutilized. That means for next year, our state aid will decrease by approximately $3 to $3.5 million. We're only working with estimates right now as we wait for final budget changes that may come from the legislature by the end of the session, which is June 2nd. We also will not know our county valuations until August 20th. I will continue to monitor budgetary impacts over the summer, keeping the board and community informed as new information is released. Now for our claims. Total amount of claims to be approved on the consent agenda by specific fund are listed below. General Fund, $338,589.45. Nutrition Fund, $315,108.46. Cooperative Fund, $146,787.67. Subsidiary Fund, $11,945.52. The Special Building Fund, $177,713.10. QC Puff, $80,521. Senior High Activity Fund, $28,923.25. Junior High Activity Fund, $4,807.16. And the Student Fee Fund for $1,070.68. All of these claims have been reviewed earlier today by the Finance and Facilities Committee.
Thank you. Now we have Teaching and Learning Report, Jared Oswald.
Thank you, Madam President. As the 2024-2025 academic year wraps up, we have completed the end-of-year assessments. We'll be working to analyze that data with our leadership team and our teachers. State reports are ongoing and are all on track to meet necessary deadlines. And on Wednesday, April 30th, the second grade team met to review the data from the work they did on literacy in their teams this semester. This was the group of teachers that worked with the district management group until the funding was stopped, as I reported last month. The team set a very aggressive goal in the number of words students could read per minute. The average student increased from 67 words per minute to 84 words per minute. It's an average growth of 25% over that 10-week cycle. We also learned some really good strategies for our teams to use in the future. I want to thank the teachers and principals who participated for their hard work and their flexibility during the process. Any questions?
Yeah, what was one of your strategies that you learned that you're going to use in the future?
Yeah, so probably there were probably two that I would say were the most impactful. The first was just setting a very specific goal and identifying specific students who needed support in that goal. And that was what we learned from DMG, and they helped us to identify those students. And then the other one was just the value of having our grade level teachers sit down with our title teachers and our SPED teachers and have specific conversations over what they were seeing within the student work, and make plans together on how to support those students. That was really impactful. Now the challenge for that is how do we get that and replicate it for 5 grade levels at an elementary, and make that manageable, because it's something we need to do, but we're working to figure that out as a team.
Thank you. Student Programs Report, Mary Luer.
Thank you, Madam President. The 2025 English Language Proficiency Assessment, known as the ELPA, summative results came in the Monday, the 2nd, I think. Like the ELL teachers were chomping at the bit. But they came in, the results indicate that 69% of our students are progressing or have reached proficiency with ELL. Of the 341 students who completed the ELPA summative, 234 showed growth. The Adult Transition House and Operation Employability Completion Ceremony will be held this Wednesday, the 14th at 3 p.m. in the Johnny Carson Theater. I hope you're able to join us. Are there any questions?
Yeah, the 69%, doesn't sound real great. How's that compared to other years? Oh, it's better than it was last year. Oh.
That has improved from the year
Oh.
before. So yes,
Oh.
69% of the 234 students out of
Okay. So that's
341. It is good growth. I think we were at 67% last year, if I remember. I looked the other day just so that I would have that answer for you. So we have increased.
When you mentioned the 341 students, is that K through 12 or
Yes, it
pre-K?
is.
Does it include pre-K or not?
No pre-K, just
K
kindergarten through
12?
12th grade.
Okay, thank you.
Mary, of the 230, the ones who did not show growth, is that because they are newer to the district, or is it a combination of things?
Yeah, it's a combination of things. They're at emerging probably. So if we have kids that moved in that are new to country, they wouldn't have the skills yet to pass this. And they take this test in February. So that is one of the things that, then they go from February into beginning of February to like mid-March. And the ELL staff really like to get it done as soon as they can. So if there are new kids moved in that we have to take the summative as well, we do that.
Services Report, Chuck Hughes.
Thank you, Madam President. I am in the process of updating all of our handbooks from Little Panthers all the way through high school. We are still waiting for any legislative changes that will need to be added. Drafts will be shared with all of you as soon as I am able. And some upcoming dates to remember, obviously Mary gave you one of them, but May 18th is the graduation ceremony at the Norfolk High School main gym at 2 o'clock. May 21st is the last day of school for students, and we will have an 11:30 dismissal. May 22nd is the last day for all of our staff. May 28th, we will have Norfolk High School's summer school starting up. And on June 2nd, elementary, middle school, and junior high summer school will begin.
Thank you. Human Resources and Accreditation Report, Angie Bauman.
Thank you, Madam President. All summer school contracts have been signed and teachers are preparing for the start of the summer session. The intent to return forms have been signed by our classified staff, so principals are aware of any open positions they will have for the 2025-2026 school year. MPS will be hosting a job fair for our classified openings on June 19th. More details will be shared in the near future about this job fair. As the school year wraps up, I will begin communicating with our new hires and student teachers to prepare for the start of the school year.
Did you get all the teachers for summer school? Was that, I know we've increased their pay to help with that. Is that help?
Yes, I believe we have 65, give or take a couple, summer school teachers, and we did not have any issues filling the majority of those positions.
Good to hear. Superintendent's report, Dr. Thompson.
Thank you. I have several items for you this evening, starting with our monthly enrollment report. Our September 1, 2024 enrollment was 4,542, which was 23 students more than September 1, 2023. Enrollment has fluctuated quite a bit throughout the school year, as you can see from the graph, looking at the blue lines and numbers. Currently, we have 4,546 students, which is a net increase of 4 students since the beginning of the school year, or a 0.5% increase since September of last year. So a small increase, basically. Our superintendent advisory committees both met, and those meetings went very well. The staff advisory committee focused on our comprehensive facilities plan and how projects are selected, whereas our community advisory council focused on our ELL program and student behavior, discipline, and bullying. Our strategic planning steering committee met to get an update on how the individual action planning teams were doing in regards to completing their goals and action steps. Each of those action planning teams will present to the board at an upcoming board meeting, starting with the communications teams, which you heard earlier this evening. Our goal is to keep both the steering committee and the school board well informed regarding our progress on each goal throughout the entire process until all of our goals and action steps are complete. President Trump's budget proposal includes some recommended cuts to education in the areas of preschool, English language learner services, and migrant services. It also calls for the consolidation of some IDEA or special education and title funds, but it does not specify which funds. We will be watching this process closely and are visiting with Congressman Flood regarding our concerns about potential reduced funding. Finally, there are several special events scheduled in May that board members are invited to attend. I have listed those below, but will allow you to read those yourself. Please let Callan know which events you plan to attend, particularly graduation, as we need to know how many chairs to place on the stage. I would be happy to answer any questions you may have.
I have a question. With the community committee that meets and they're discussing the student behavior, discipline, and bullying, will we get like a summary of what their concerns were, or if they were, just what they said about it, or, especially the bullying? I've had some comments from community members, and I'm just wondering how they were addressing that particular item.
In general, they just asked about a post that was on social media and asked how principals addressed bullying if it occurred. And I feel like Mr. Hughes did a really nice job addressing that. I mean, I don't know if you want to go ahead and kind of give that answer for Cindy.
We just talked about some of the things that principals do, from investigating, taking both what students are telling us and if we hear about it from parents, how we can investigate that and make sure that, number one, it is a legit concern versus just hearsay or if it ends up being false. And then just some of the strategies that I used as a building principal to make sure I checked in on kids that were being picked on or that were being bullied, and how I made sure to go back and touch base with them. Just make sure they're in a good spot.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to committee reports. Facilities and Finance Committee. We met earlier today at 4 o'clock. Tom Stanton, Steve McNally, and myself were in attendance. The committee reviewed claims and financial reports and reviewed ongoing projects, including the construction of the middle school and the senior high chiller, both which will be done this summer. The committee also addressed items on the evening's agenda, such as the student fees, the technology and maintenance sale, substitute pay, Aero Stage Lines contract, and the LSI contract, which is our lunchtime solutions. Additional topics of discussion included district accounts, TIOSA funding, NRD grant, booster clubs, and classified staff. Is there any questions? What day would be the sale? Again, May 29th?
Thursday, May 29th, yes.
Thursday, May 29th. If we approve to have the sale on the extra obsolete items, it'll be the 29th that we can all buy. Any other questions? Government Relations Committee, Dr. Patty Goebbels.
The Government Relations Committee met on Monday, April 14th, 2025 at 3 p.m. Board members present: Brenda Carhart, Tom Stanton, Dr. Patty Goebbels, along with the NPS staff members, Dr. Jamie Jo Thompson and Tiffany Settles. The purpose of the meeting was to discuss the Education Committee package bill. Today I heard it referred to as the Frankenstein bill. LB 653, which now includes several other bills within it, including the following. Amendment 932, which includes new definitions or levels of special education and requires schools to accept all option students with an IEP, regardless of their capacity to serve those students, until their percentage of option SPED students matches that of the average percentage for the state for the previous year. There are numerous issues with this bill, including cost, lack of staff, transportation, potential legal conflicts with Rule 51, etc. Also included in this package, LB 303, which makes slight adjustments to TIOSA to keep the special education reimbursement at or below 80%. LB 430 allows for students in PK through second grade to be suspended for violent behavior capable of causing physical harm to other students or employees. LB 497 allows homeschool and private school students to enroll in the nearest public school for extracurricular activities if they take at least 5 credit hours. LB 507 changes provisions relating to school transportation expenses for foster students and children with disabilities. This could be very expensive. LB 625 provides for establishment of a database of financial information from all school districts. It was determined that Dr. Thompson would reach out to Senator Dover to see if he would meet the committee for lunch to discuss pros and cons of this package bill. Dr. Goebbels, Brenda Carhart, and Dr. Thompson met with Senator Dover for lunch to discuss the pros and cons of LB 653, the Education Committee package bill. The committee also discussed federal issues regarding compliance with Title VI of the Civil Rights Act and how to interpret the new reference regarding DEI, because diversity, excellence, inclusion, equity, inclusion is not defined at all. Dr. Goebbels, Dr. Thompson, and Mr. Wilson attended the GNSA meeting in Lincoln. Tom and Brenda attended via Zoom. Future meetings to be determined, but as you heard Dr. Thompson say, we will be meeting with Congressman Flood to discuss some of President Trump's suggested consolidations as well as cuts to education funding.
Any questions to all that?
Was it a positive response from Senator Dover? I mean, when I look at these things, I see some that are really good that are in there and then some that are really bad. So what do you say about that?
We were obviously mostly concerned and wanted to discuss, for the most part, the option part of this for students who have IEPs. So we really didn't spend extraordinary amounts of time talking about the other bills that were included. Because for that, I think, and I guess I'd ask the other people who attended, but that's the most problematic of the bills that are included. And I know that things are changing. I heard reports today that they're still trying to massage some of this and imply that by changing a few things it's fixed, when it's really not fixed.
Thank you, good to know.
Next will be the Norfolk Public Schools Foundation Committee report. The foundation met on April 21st, was called to order by Board President Jason Bush. The board reviewed and approved the financial reports for February, and Tyler Hefner from Insight Financial presented an update on the investment portfolio. Other reports highlighted important upcoming events, including scholarship selection deadlines and honors night on May 15th at 7 p.m. at the Johnny Carson Theater, where scholarships will be awarded to students. This year saw a significant increase in student scholarship applications, with 150 more submissions compared to the previous year. The classroom grants and continuing education scholarships application will close on April 28th, with grant selections to follow after the May meeting. The May meeting, which is May 19th. Okay. Consent agenda.
Brenda, just a question about that. I don't know if you discussed this, but what are you attributing the increase? I mean, it's fantastic that more students are applying for scholarships, but to what do you attribute that?
A couple things. Could just be the class and maybe don't want to take the time to do the scholarships. But I guess after last year's decrease, this year Austin really tried to get in front of the students a whole lot more and tell them, remind them, had the guidance counselors work with the students more, reminding them, helping them fill out the scholarship forms. So just being more involved this year and trying to lead the way. Consent agenda. Minutes of the previous meeting are attached. 9.2, personnel, contract approval. Dr. Thompson.
Thank you. I do have 3 contracts for your consideration this evening, starting with Rick Allison, which may be a familiar name, except he will be in a different position. He will be returning to us as a 4th grade classroom teacher at Bel Air Elementary School. Joshua Kozak, social studies teacher at Norfolk Senior High, and Brent Polari, Alternatives for Success teacher and head girls basketball coach at Norfolk Senior High.
So how did you find Joshua Kozak? That he's in Brazil right now? Is that true?
That is true, yes. He Eric doesn't give me enough money to go there, so I wasn't able to meet him in person, but he is originally from the Omaha metro area and is moving back to Nebraska, so he found us.
And then Rick Allison, was he just bored, or what was he?
I don't know that that's exactly what he said, but he did say that he didn't find what he was doing after retirement as rewarding as education, and he knew he needed to get back in it.
We're glad to have him back.
Yes, very much so.
Good. Thank you for searching the world for teachers.
Thank you, Madam President. Attached are the claims. These have been reviewed by our Finance and Facilities Committee. There are 3 conflict statements this month that will need to be read before voting.
Can I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
I have a motion by Patty and a second by Tom. Is there any discussion? I can go first. Out of abundance of caution, I hereby declare a potential conflict of interest and abstaining from voting on Claim 384 and 385 for the month of May in the consent agenda for this meeting. It was for my meeting with Dover. I have assigned and filed this written disclosure with the Secretary of the Board. It is my intent to vote on all other remaining items listed on the consent agenda. My vote is on the remainder of the consent items, which should not be taken as a vote one way or the other on the items which I have identified or any other matters set forth therein or related thereto.
Out of an abundance of caution, I hereby declare a potential conflict of interest and am abstaining from voting on claim number 382 and 383 for the month of May in the consent agenda for this meeting. I have signed and filed this written disclosure with the Secretary of the Board. It is my intent to vote on all other remaining items listed on the consent agenda. My vote on the remainder of the consent items should not be taken as a vote one way or the other on the items which I have identified, or any of the matters set forth therein or related thereto. And my claims were also for the meeting with Senator Dover.
Out of an abundance of caution, I hereby declare a potential conflict of interest and am abstaining from voting on claim number 335 for the month of May in the consent agenda for this meeting. I have signed and filed this written disclosure with the Secretary of the Board. It is my intent to vote on all of the remaining items listed on the consent agenda. My vote on the remainder of the consent items should not be taken as a vote one way or the other on the items which I have identified or any of the matters set forth therein or related thereto.
Please vote.
Motion carried 6-0.
Thank you. Action items. 10.1, discuss, consider, and take action to approve the 2025-26 student fees. Mr. Wilson.
Thank you, Madam President. As we have had the student fee hearing, you have seen the changes for next year outlined. Strike-throughs are being removed. Items in red are being added. Minor changes to the student fees policy and attachment for next year. It is my recommendation to the Board of Education to reaffirm policy 5416, which is attached, and approve the appendix attachment B, setting our fees for 25-26 school year.
I move to approve the 2025-2026 student fees.
Second.
I have a motion by Patty and a second by Steve. Is there any other discussion? Please vote.
Motion carried 6-0.
10.2, discuss, consider, and take action to approve the second and final reading of Board Policies 3230 through 3580 relating to business operations.
No changes have been made to any of these policies since their first reading last month, but I would be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
I'll move to approve the second and final reading of board policies 3230 through 3580 related to business operations.
I'll second that.
We have a motion by Tom and a second by Cindy. Is there any other discussion or questions? Please vote.
Motion carried 6-0.
10.3, discuss, consider, and take action to approve the sale of technology or other miscellaneous items via a community garage sale. Mr. Chuck Hughes, tell us about your garage sale.
Thank you, Madam President. Request for permission to sell old and outdated technology and maintenance building supplies. These are items that have reached their end of life for our district. We will sell them for what we can get out of them. Some items will have little to no value. Things that don't sell will be recycled or disposed of.
I'll motion to approve the sale of technology and other miscellaneous items via a community garage sale.
I'll second the motion.
We have a motion by Steve and a second by Patty. Is there any other questions?
How much stuff is this? I mean, is it a lot, or what kind of things mostly are you having? And
As you can see, we've got it broken down into two different columns. Anything from desktops to Chromebooks to old projectors and out-of-date iPads to, sprayer trailers, a push mower, floor scrubbers, chairs, desks, just things that, they've reached the end of life, like we said, and things that we just need to get rid of to open up some more storage for us.
VHS players, do you still have VHS? Maybe a lineup for those.
so, but you don't give them away for free. Like at the end of the sale, if somebody wants to take them, you can't do that. Is that correct?
We can if we can't sell the thing. Otherwise, we're gonna have to pay a disposal fee to take it to this dump. But obviously, we want to try to get anything of value, value out of that for the district. If there's just no value, it actually saves us money to give it to somebody that take it to the dump, or we can recycle it at Alters if possible.
Okay, that's kind of what I wondered. Thank you.
Cindy, for example, on the 1998 school route bus, there will be like a reserve set on that. So
Good
if
to
it doesn't, then it can be auctioned off on like Big Iron or.
Good to know, thank you.
Mr. Hughes, you probably already said this, but where's the garage sale located?
Great question. I believe it is at the maintenance building. Yeah. This will be my first community garage sale for Norfolk Public Schools, so I'm excited.
Are you to bring the donuts in the morning for everybody? Is that your job? Lemonade stand too? Oh, okay. Sell lemonade. Please vote.
Motion carried 6-0.
Discuss, consider, and take action to approve the 2025-26 substitute teacher rates. Mr. Wilson.
Thank you. The board has already approved all other position raises for the 25-26 school year. Substitutes is our last group that we need to have in place. This proposal adds $5 to the daily rate for substitutes and $2 for the daily rate for long-term substitutes. The long-term sub rates are tied to and match the base teacher salary schedule daily rate, which is why that number is a little bit less. I recommend approval of these rates for the 25-26 school year.
Has it been difficult to get substitute teachers this past year? I mean, are you finding that it's been difficult?
You know, I don't have the exact numbers in front of me, but we've definitely had fewer days with unfilled positions. It has gotten better. Track season has been hard on us because when there's track meets and district track and junior high track, we have a lot of people out. But we have seen, not that we have necessarily a lot more subs, but fewer absences and openings.
I'll motion to approve the 2025-2026 substitute teacher rates.
Second.
We have a motion by Steve and a second by Tom. Is there any other questions or discussion? Please vote.
Motion carried 6-0.
Discuss, consider, and take action to approve the one-year renewal with Lunchtime Solutions for nutrition services. Mr. Wilson.
Thank you. This is the renewal of our contract with LSI, Lunchtime Solutions, for the 25-26 school year. This renewal has been reviewed and approved by the Nebraska Department of Education Nutrition Services. This is the last renewal of our 5-year contract with LSI and will be put out to bid this coming winter. It does include a 1% increase for costs of materials, which I feel is a fair increase. I recommend approval of this contract for next year.
I'll move to approve a one-year contract renewal with Lunchtime Solutions for nutrition services.
Second.
I have a motion by Patty and a second by Tom. Is there any other questions or discussion? 1%'s really fair, considering the price of food going up. Please vote.
Motion carried 6-0.
10.6, discuss, consider, and take action to approve a one-year renewal with Aero Stage Lines for student transportation services. Mr. Wilson.
My last one for the night. Attached is a copy of the 25-26 school year contract for transportation services with Aero Stage Lines. This contract includes a 4% increase in transportation costs, which equates to an approximately $70 increase in trips to Omaha and Lincoln. That's a round trip fee. With the changes that we made to the contract last year, we did use Aero for a few less trips first semester this year over what we did last year. Feedback from our coaches and transportation managers have been positive regarding Aero's service, reliability, and response to our needs. This information has been reviewed with the Finance and Facilities Committee. With our continued shortage of bus drivers and without being able to purchase a new activity bus, I would recommend moving forward with this contract for next year. Any questions?
I'll make a motion to approve one-year renewal with Aero Stage Lines for student transportation services.
Second.
A motion by Terry and a second by Steve. Is there any other questions or discussion?
So we've done this now, I think this is our second year that we've used them. Are you really feeling that it's a wise decision and not having to purchase an activity, a charter bus to keep using Aero Stage Lines? I mean, is that the overall feel?
It's been a positive for us. I agree it does cost the district a little bit more, but we would have to buy a bus, which we don't have the funds to buy a charter bus, or do we go with a different kind of bus? And then also just finding bus drivers has been really tough for us too. Aero has always had the bus there. We don't have to worry about the bus driver situation. They've got plenty of drivers. They're right in our back door here, so it's pretty easy for us to work with them. I think the decision the board made last year to move the distance a little bit further away helped our case too. So again, I would recommend we move forward with them.
I think it's really good for the public to have an understanding of what we're doing with this. And do you feel like the distance that we set last year is the same, we should keep it that way? I mean, has that been a good distance?
Yeah, we've taken out some of those shorter trips, so it's more that Omaha, Lincoln area trips that we're using Aero for or further. I think if we started trying to pick up any more of those, we'd be back to the square one of saying, okay, we probably need to upgrade our bus fleet at that point again. So I think we're sitting at a good distance right now.
Okay, thank you.
Also like to point out, Cindy, that if we ever did decide to make that change and go back, it's a little bit more involved of a process. So we would spend some time doing that. It's not like we're just going to make that change. So
I don't think we have the money, would be the process. So I think the bus driver shortage was one of our biggest things. Even if we went the other direction, we still have the problem of not having the drivers. I personally have student athletes, and I think it's worked out fantastic.
Well, originally I thought it was a great safety feature to do this, and safety is really important to our public and to our students.
Please vote.
Motion carried 6-0.
10.7, discuss, consider, and take action to approve the cancellation of contract for Megan Lovejoy. Dr. Thompson.
Thank you. There is only so much that can be said in open session, but this is the same personnel issue that we discussed in executive session previously. At this point, our attorney has recommended that we move forward with a cancellation of contract. Ms. Lovejoy did not request a hearing to appeal this action within the allotted time frame, so we can move forward at this point.
I'll make a motion to approve the cancellation of contract for Megan Lovejoy.
I'll second the motion.
We have a motion by Terry and a second by Patty. Is there any other discussion? This is the same gal that we voted not to approve her, we voted not to approve her termination, resignation, sorry, at our last meeting. Please vote.
Motion carried 6-0.
Meetings, don't leave, we have to go into executive session, but the future meeting, the second monthly meeting of the Board of Education is scheduled for Thursday, May 22nd at noon. This is a not normal meeting date because it's been rescheduled due to Memorial Day, so it's a Thursday. The following regular meeting of the Board of Education will be held on Monday, June 9th, 2025 at 5:30 p.m. All components of these meetings will be held at MPS Central Administration offices and will be open to the public unless an executive session is needed in order to protect the interests of the district or the reputation of an individual. Executive session, can I have a motion to go into executive session?
Make a motion to go into executive session.
Can
I
you
can
read the
second that.
whole motion as to why we're going in? It's in 12.1.
A motion to convenes executive session to discuss negotiations related to the interim superintendent contract as needed to protect the interest of the district.
I'll second the motion.
We have a motion by Terry and a second by Patty. Is there any other discussion? Please vote.
Motion carried 6-0.
Could have an action item after this executive session. Can we make a motion to come out of executive session? We're going to reconvene from executive session. We're waiting for the contract to be updated, and then we will vote on the approval of the contract for Bill McAllister, interim superintendent.
I will move to approve the contract for Bill McAllister as the interim superintendent.
I'll second the motion.
We have a motion by Tom and a second by Patty. Is there any discussion? I just want to say that I'm excited to have the contract signed and begin working with Mr. Bill McAllister, and I look forward to a productive and educational year. I hope you can teach us something, and we can learn from you, and you can learn from us, and we have a good working relationship, and in the meantime, find another good superintendent to take us into the future. Please vote.
Motion carried, 6-0.
That is the end of our meeting. Meeting adjourned.